You look at that video of him pacing around and he's looking worried, and you knowing him, do you think it's possible that he might commit?
I don't think that he could see himself in a cage. I don't think he could see himself behind those bars. He's suffering the consequence, and I don't feel bad for him at all. Because people was trying to talk to him. People was trying to tell him.
So, word on the street is that 50 Cent has been stirring things up about P. Diddy's legal troubles, taking some shots at the hip-hop tycoon. Now, with these investigations heating up, it looks like Fifth might have been onto something. It looks like Diddy could be in for some serious trouble, and he's definitely not ready for that jail time. So what exactly has Fifth been saying?
I'm going to them puffy parties. They can hug you from the front and the back at the same time.
You see, the trolling of Diddy by 50 Cent seems to not be coming to an end anytime soon, since he recently called him out in light of a new report about Cassie's alleged cooperation in a federal investigation. As reported by TMZ, Cassie, Diddy's former romantic partner, is said to have been cooperating with authorities for weeks. Notably, Cassie sued Diddy last year, alleging abuse and other serious accusations. The suit was swiftly settled, with Diddy's legal team denying the allegations against him. Oh yeah, it's not looking good for the diddler, 50 later said when sharing a screenshot of the TMZ story. By the next morning, 50 Cent had resumed his Diddy mockery, this time in response to a separate TMZ report regarding the apparent slew of documentaries in development about the Bad Boy Records founder. Naturally, 50 used the opportunity to once again plug his own upcoming project, tentatively titled Diddy Do It. Yeah, a bunch of YouTube tube movie-type docs, he said of the other documentaries reported to be in development, adding that the big one is the one he's been teasing under his G-Unit film and television banner. The last couple of months have been particularly difficult for Diddy, starting with the widely discussed raids of his homes in Los Angeles and Miami. Meanwhile, a man alleged in Rodney Lil Rod Jones Jr.'s lawsuit to be Diddy's drug mule was arrested. Shan Hawley, Diddy's attorney, previously called Jones a liar and accused him of being out for money. His reckless name-dropping about events that are pure fiction and simply did not happen is nothing more than a transparent attempt to garner headlines, Hawley said. We have overwhelming, indisputable proof that his claims are complete lies. Our attempts to share this proof with Mr. Jones' attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, have been ignored as Mr. Blackburn refuses to return our calls. We will address these outlandish allegations in court and take all appropriate action against those who make them. With the recent investigations being conducted against him, most fans and legal experts are convinced that Diddy might be facing some jail time soon.
Under federal law, if someone is convicted of even one count of, it carries a minimum 10 or 15-year prison sentence minimum. The judge can't go any lower for each count.
Every day, there is a news story, a different angle on a past headline, or new people speaking out against him. However, out of all the recent developing stories, the home raids were perhaps what caught most people's attention. His Los Angeles and Miami homes were ransacked by Homeland Security investigation teams, and it led many to wonder how Diddy was not detained during them. But it seems that it will take more and more witnesses coming forward to place the mogul in court. Gene Deal, a former bodyguard for Diddy, can be added to the list of people willing to testify. Deal expressed his feelings about everything surrounding the rapper and businessman in an interview with The Art of Dialogue. People have been reaching out to Gene in every way, saying that he is trying to purposefully drag Diddy's name through the mud. However, he feels he has more than enough proof to make a compelling case. I get all kinds of hate mail. I get people talking about that I'm trying to take a black man down. No, I went through every step you were supposed to go through when you got an issue with a man, Gene explained.
Him doing the things that he did and taking the avenue that he took, he's suffering the consequence, and I don't feel bad for him at all.
Gene also feels that when Money, Power, and Respect by the Lox, DMX, and Lil Kim came out, he thinks Diddy had the message of the song backward. You got your respect in the street, that gave you your power, that brought you your money. Do I care what happens? Diddy got enough money to buy his way out of it. So we think he even believes that the rapper could annul of himself in prison because he is a narcissist.
You're a narcissist, there's always a possibility because you're suffering.
Gene went on to add that Puffy does not see himself as someone who can be jailed.
I don't think that he could see himself in a cage. I don't think he could see himself behind those bars.
In any case, with his extravagant lifestyle, fans are also convinced that Diddy won't last a day in jail if he ever gets arrested. You see, the rapper has 4 homes in his sizable real estate portfolio. 2 of the houses he owns are in the Los Angeles area. One sprawls 17,000 square feet in Hidden Valley Hills, while the other features over 9,600 square feet in Toluca Lake. In Florida, Star Island is home to 2 Combs properties. The mansions, both containing thousands of square feet and luxurious amenities, sit on lots adjacent to each other. That luxurious barrier island community can be found in the Miami Beach area. Further north in the bay is Indian Creek, another island sometimes called Billionaire Bunker due to its ultra-wealthy residents. He had to splash out tens of millions of dollars to acquire his real estate portfolio. Combs has a private plane painted black that he uses for some of his travels. According to the New York Post, the plane is reportedly a Gulfstream G550. This aircraft type, created by General Dynamics-owned Gulfstream Aerospace, has been around since 2003. These business jets can travel 6,750 nautical miles at Mach 0.80. Additionally, multiple media reports have linked the rapper to the yacht Mariah. Shipbuilder CRN constructed the 54-meter yacht in 2007. It and its 5 decks have room for up to a dozen people. According to Boat International, the Mariah features a hot tub along with a private master suite, a balcony, an elevator, and plenty of water toys. A webpage dedicated to the vessel on Burgess Yachts website noted that the cost of renting it for a week could be 300,000 euros. Combs apparently has invested in cars over the years, with his collection reportedly consisting of a range of brands and price levels. In 2022, the U.S. Sun identified a Lamborghini Gallardo Spider, Maybach 57, Rolls-Royce Phantom, and Chevrolet Corvette as some of the more valuable vehicles under his ownership. He reportedly owns Ferraris. The rapper has driven a Cadillac Escalade, according to the outlet. He has also bestowed cars as gifts to family members, such as his mother. Combs has become quite wealthy over the years. His business and career span music, movies, alcohol, and other industries. During his music career, Diddy released 5 studio albums, 2 collaborative albums, 1 remix album, and 72 singles. Diddy's record label brought in about $130 million annually in its prime, according to a Business Insider report. His own music, including albums and singles, generates $100 million in royalties, according to fashion and lifestyle magazine High Snobiety. His first rap album, No Way Out, reached number 1 on the Billboard 200 in its first week of release, selling 561,000 copies and receiving 5 Grammy Award nominations. In 1998, Diddy won the Grammy Award for Best Rap Album. By September 2000, No Way Out was certified as a septuple platinum album by the Recording Industry Association of America for sales of over 7 million copies. His subsequent albums also met with success. Throughout his musical career, he partnered with other famous artists, including Rick Ross, DJ Khaled, Fat Joe, Busta Rhymes, Red Cafe, and Fabulous. Around the time Diddy's first rap album came out, he also launched his own clothing brand, St. John, in 1998. The brand made its debut at Bloomingdale's in New York City. St. John's annual revenues now exceed $525 million, according to Macy's. In 2004, St. John invested in high-end label Zac Posen, and in 2008, he acquired streetwear brand Ennice from Liz Claiborne for $20 million. 2 years later, St. John landed a distribution agreement with Macy's, making the department store the sole distributor of its sportswear. In 2016, Diddy sold a 90% stake in St. John to Global Brands Group, but bought it back in 2021 for $7.5 million. Meanwhile, Diddy also had several alcohol and cannabis-related investments and partnerships. In 2007, Diddy and alcoholic beverage company Diageo formed a partnership with the goal of increasing exposure and sales for Ciroc vodka and DeLeon tequila. At the time, the agreement included a 50-50 split with the company. But now Diageo owns 100% of Ciroc and DeLeon. It's estimated that Diddy made about $60 million annually from the deal, according to reports. With a former stage name of Puff Daddy, it should come as no surprise that Diddy has also invested in the cannabis industry. In November 2022, he inked a $185 million deal to buy cannabis retail stores and production facilities in several U.S. states, including New York, Illinois, and Massachusetts, from Cresco Labs and Columbia Care, two of the nation's top cannabis brands. In a dispute over the management of Croc, Combs sued Diageo in May 2023, and the former partners resolved the issue, parting ways entirely in January 2024. In line of Monday's surprising raids, numerous tour bus operators have been making frequent stops by Diddy's place. The news has significantly boosted customer curiosity. While tour buses are typically full around spring break, the buzz around Diddy's legal troubles is drawing even more crowds. Multiple tour companies have shared with TMZ that their passengers are specifically requesting to see the mogul's home. Now they're flagging it as a top attraction. It's not that these operators need to alter their usual paths, they often pass by Diddy's place regularly. One company even mentioned their bus was on site during the raid. Anyway, it seems the rapper might be spending the rest of his life locked up in jail, away from all his properties and wealth. This is because, aside from the criminal charges, he might also be facing charges for the tragic but very linked deaths of hip-hop superstars Tupac Shakur and the notorious big Why Am I Saying This? Let's go back to the arrest of Dwayne Keith Davis, better known as Keith Diddy, on a murder charge in the death of Tupac Shakur. Davis is believed to be the only surviving member of 4 Southside Crips who allegedly killed Shakur in a drive-by shooting just off the Vegas Strip in September 1996. Shakur was on Knight's death row label and was a rival of Combs and Wallace. In fact, Davis had long complicated the murder case by maintaining that Combs offered to pay $1 million for the deaths of Shakur and Wallace. Davis claims that he'd known Combs for several years by then, having met him through a drug-dealing associate in New York named Eric Von Zep Martin. Davis said Combs first asked him and the Crips to work security for bad boy artists in the mid-1990s. Text: Puffy would give us tickets to be at their bad boy West Coast shows. We went everywhere with them. We'd meet up with them at the hotel, get the tickets, and go with them. I used to ride in the van with them. The Crips were backstage deep at most of those West Coast shows. Text over. Davis wrote in his memoir, Compton Street Legend, that Combs has always denied hiring gang members as his security. A year into the security gig, Davis said Combs came to him with a much more daunting request. I have a couple of problems that need to be handled, Biggie and Tupac. Davis recalled Combs as saying in his memoir, that's not a problem. We can make that happen, Davis allegedly told Combs. There was no contract, not even a handshake, nothing like that. Davis would later tell Los Angeles Police Department Detective Greg Kading that it was more like a gentleman's agreement. Kading wrote in his book on these events that Davis even elicited a confession from Davis in 2009 as part of a multi-agency task force investigation into the Shakur and Wallace murders. But Davis wasn't officially arrested until earlier last year. In Davis's memoir, he recalled meeting with Martin, the New York associate he had in common with Combs, 3 days after the shooting in Vegas that killed Shakur. During the meal, Martin took a call from Combs, who asked both of the men, was that us? Davis responded that it was. Combs was happy as hell at that answer, according to Kading's book. Davis said he tried to contact Martin about the money for weeks afterward. The promise had been $1 million, after all, but he was never able to collect. Not long after, Davis was ensnared in an unrelated drug case and was sent to federal prison for more than 5 years. He said he never spoke with Combs or Martin again. Meeting Puffy has been like a bad dream from which I'm still trying to wake up. Davis wrote in Compton Street Legend, I hate that I ever met him. My life has gone backward ever since. Now 60, Davis pleaded not guilty to murder in the Shakur case on November 2nd in Las Vegas. If convicted, he could spend the rest of his life in prison. Prosecutors have said Davis implicated himself in the crime in several interviews in recent years, as well as in his memoir. So that's what's happening with Davis. What's happening with Combs? Given Davis's allegations about his role in Shakur's murder, Kading said the LAPD interviewed Combs about his supposed role in Shakur's murder more than a decade ago, but that it ultimately yielded nothing. It was under very controlled circumstances, Kading said. Puffy is insulated by his lawyers who are going to protect him at all costs. We all can agree that justice ought to be blind and not influenced by money, but the reality is that it is. Nevada prosecutors haven't indicated that Combs will be involved in their new murder case against Davis, and Kading doubts Combs will ever be implicated or face charges. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks.